Boa tarde, buenas tardes, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Patricia Ceballos. I am coming from Elsevier, and today we are going to see the last session of this cycle of sessions that we were doing to update the clinical key. And this session, it's number 404, and we are going to see how to prepare a lecture of how to prepare a class with clinical key. Not only a class, presentations, and whatever you need to prepare to show some content to someone. For example, in a hospital, maybe you need to share information with the rest of your team, of your service in a clinical session, or if you have a session specific of a case, no? And you need to look for information. You have clinical key, and we are going to show you how to use it in a good way. So let's begin with the session of today. So in this session, we are going to see and going to find the way for teaching purposes. Do you remember that in the first session, we saw this plan of different ways that we can use clinical key in different moments. And in all these days, we were doing these examples, this way of using clinical key as a clinician, as a professor. If you are also a researcher, you have this opportunity for learning, of course, is always. And now we are going to do this for teaching purposes. So for teaching purposes, we are going to focus in some kind of content in clinical key that are related to these teaching purposes. We are going to see journals, guidelines, books, multimedia, and of course, we have plenty of content in clinical key that can be helpful also for you. If you are preparing a class, a presentation, it will be great to use this. So first of all, we are going to clinical key. So first, let's go to clinical key. Remember clinicalkey.com, where we are going to have our user. Well, right now I am in my user, and later I am going to remind you how you can register as a user of clinical key, so you can create or have all these benefits of having your account, and you can save content, and you can not only save content, you can create presentations in PowerPoint and many things that you can do with your profile of clinical key. Well, I have an example. But of course, if you have any other example or wants to share information with me, please don't hesitate and write it in the chat or in the Q&A, so I can help and we can search some information in clinical key. So first of all, we are going to do a search, and I come with this example, and we are going directly to see what type one type of this content, in this case books, because we are going to work about gestational diabetes or diabetes in pregnancy, and we are going to build this class about this. So first, we are going to do the search of diabetes. We are going to do both searches, diabetes in pregnancy, that we have in here, as you can see. And I am going to look for these books that have, has this information about diabetes in pregnancy. As you can see, I only filter with books, and I have 1,977 results about books that have this content of diabetes 2 and gestational diabetes. We have diabetes in pregnancy, the infant of a diabetic mother. Well, we have many chapters. We are going to see the first one, so we can have this information and we can save this information in our profile and then decide and read all this information to build our class. So we have this diabetes type 2 and gestational diabetes. We have all this information, and of course we have some schemes also about this. So as you can see, this is an extract of a chapter of a book. In this case is the Diabetes Mellitus Complicating Pregnancy, and we are going to the top of that chapter that it's included in GAPE's obstetrics, normal and problem pregnancies that we have here in ClinicalKey. And as you can see, you not only can access and read it online, you can download the PDF. We already comment this morning, and we can save it in our mobile and our tablet or our computer. But of course, what we recommend is also to save this information on your profile so you can reach it again in any moment and you know where exactly it is. But well, if you decide to download that is okay. Remind that you have your name at the end of each PDF that you will download, and also that there is a policy of a book PDF that it's important that you know that you can download all the PDF that you know, but it in a reasonable way. No, when you need it, you can download it for sure. So going back to this, I am going to save this content. As you can see, sometimes it doesn't appear the icons that we have inside of in this case of a chapter of book. But if I go a little bit down, it will appear in here. Okay, so we have, for one part, we have the save content. This is star with this icon. We are going to save content. We have another one that it's related to send to this email, this information about this chapter of book. We can send it by email, and of course we can download the PDF. There is another one related to the credits of medical education. We still don't have the way that you can recognize this, but it's good for you to know that when you read documents as books, journals, and clinical overviews, you can gain some credits of medical education. We need to research a little more in Portugal so they can recognize you these credits that you are working in ClinicalKey. By the moment, we don't have this information, but it's good for you to know that you can collect this credit of medical education. So from here, we have also on the right, the book. If you want to see the complete book, you can do this clicking on the name of the book, and it will take you to the complete book. In this case, that it's related with obstetrics, and you have also videos related inside that book. Okay, some books has these videos that you can search and you can see. But well, going back to our main search that it's related to diabetes in pregnancy, what we are going to do, as I said, is going to save this content inside my profile so I can collect all this information, and then when I am done, I can review it and create my class about this diabetes in pregnancy or the gestational diabetes. I am going to create this tag this folder where I am going to put everything, diabetes in pregnancy. Sorry. And I am going to create this in my profile. I just save this and I am going back again to see maybe another book where I can find more information about this pregnancy. We have this other book, Diabetes in Pregnancy, the Infant of a Diabetic Mother. We can also save this. How does pregnancy affect diabetes mellitus? Maybe this is a good approach also. In this Chet Nutt's obstetric anesthesia book, we have a case of a study of management of gestational diabetes using clinical practice guidelines in patient care. Maybe it can be a good approach also. And this last one in Williams' textbook of endocrinology that talks about gestational diabetes. So, as I said, I am selecting the ones that I want to save on my profile, and I am going to this start and save this this information or on my profile of a ClinicalKey, on this tag that I already create. So we have this diabetes in pregnancy, and then I save it. Another type of content that I have, it's related, well, we are going to get more information. So I am cleaning the filters that I have. And now I have all this type of content inside ClinicalKey. But at the beginning, we talk about this type of content that we have, and are related to the articles of journals that we are going to have inside also ClinicalKey. I have this article related to diabetes mellitus and pregnancy with clinical practice guidelines. It will be a good idea to review. And from here, I have this, and of course, I can navigate as I previously show you. We have the description at the end, and I can read all the article and navigate through this article. And also I can see the complete font. In this case, it's Endocrinología, Diabetes y Nutrición, that it's a journal in Spanish, but this is the English version of this journal. So from here, I can go directly also to this top of the article and download the PDF in case that I want to download this article. There are of 6 pages too. So as you can see, it's very easy not only to obtain this information, to download and to navigate and have all the latest information about journals also in ClinicalKey. So I have these chapters. We have also, well, I am going to go to this specific clinical overview. So we have this clinical overview that have all the information about an illness, as we saw this morning also in the training. All this information is taken by a group that it's called Elsevier Point of Care. This team, it's an Elsevier team that works well. There are physicians and many different profiles that work with this clinical overview. They take all the different fonts that are related to an illness like this and has all this information that it's evidence-based and it's updated, and they check for the latest information and update all these resúmenes clínicos or clinical overviews. The date that it's in here, it tells us when the latest article was out. So this tells us that the last article related to gestational diabetes was in April 11, 2022. It doesn't mean that it wasn't reviewed. It means that since then, there is not updated article related to this. Okay, so well, we have this clinical overview that are with references that we have at the end of the pages, and we can see, of course, the reference that will take me outside ClinicalKey. Okay, they will take me outside in ClinicalKey. In some cases, they are from Elsevier. In other, as you can see, this is a PMEC, this is JAMA also, and of course, we are going to have something related ClinicalKey, well, Elsevier, but as you can see, this is, for example, New England, and this is the information that we have from this diabetes, gestational diabetes. Well, going back to the results that I was showing you, we have, of course, these guidelines. We have different guidelines inside ClinicalKey that can help us also to create and review the content that we are going to share in our class. Some of them come from articles of journals, but they are guidelines. For example, this guideline number 393, diabetes in pregnancy, that we can see and we can read all the information, that changes in practice, messages, and all this information. Also, as you can see, we can download this PDF and we can save this information. What I am going to do right now is show you where I was saving this content. You saw that at the beginning, I began to save some content in my profile. I create this tag, and this tag will be in my profile inside Conteudo Salvo. And we have all this content from here where I can find this information related to diabetes in pregnancy. So I am waiting a little bit because as you can see, I have a lot of information saved, and I need to go directly from here to this tag. So now I have access to all the information that I just saved. If I am preparing a clinical case and I am going to share this information with my colleagues, I can do so if I create a tag and I put and save all the content that I need to share so they can read the same information. Later, when I have done with this information, I can select them all, and from here, share with them all the different links to the contents that I have here in ClinicalKey. So what I am sharing are the links, so the other persons that are going to receive this email need to have access to ClinicalKey. It's not mandatory to have a user of ClinicalKey, but they need to have access to ClinicalKey. Okay, so going back to diabetes in pregnancy, another type of content that we are going to see today, it's related to the images that we have inside ClinicalKey, and we can use them for our presentation, for our presentation of a class, or if we have this clinical case. So I am going to change the filter and go through multimedia and look for diabetes in pregnancy, okay? That it's the same as you can see, the gestational diabetes. And when I filter with multimedia, I am going to take all the images, but also the videos. As I am going to have only images, I can take off this, put off this one related to videos and only maintain images. From here, what I have are different type of images. Some of them can be like this, an scan, or images that are different, that we can manage, and we can read not only and see the image, also we can navigate and see through the font. So we can go, if I click here, it will get me to the specific point where is the image, and I can read, for example, this article that it's related with this image, that maybe can help me also with creating this class. In this case, this is a journal. This journal is the Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology. And of course, I can see all this information. Well, what I am going to do is to save these images in my profile, so I can have this information and I can put these images, and I am taking any image only as an example. And then when I select all the ones that I want to save in my profile and in a PowerPoint, what I am going to click is in here, in this screen, that it's related to a presentação. What I need to do is create a new one and put the name, that in this case is diabetes in pregnancy, and I am going to save. So I just create this presentation that it's saved on my profile. Inside my profile, we have a presentações, and from here, we are going to have the list of different presentations that I already create, well, since many years ago, and I can add some images to my presentation, and it doesn't matter, I can export in any moment this presentation, that what it's going to be is a presentation where I have all the images in each one of these different slides. So this information, it's great because it comes in a prepared way. Well, I have this on my other screen, so let me move where it is. Let me move this presentation here. Here. It's in here. No, it's not here. Let me see diabetes. I am going to go to download. Maybe it's better because I just close it and it's here, diabetes in pregnancy, and maybe it's going to open in my other screen so I can show you. It's in here. It was hiding from me. And I am going to move this. If it let me move it. It's a little tricky today. Okay, here, I have it. So from here, I have this presentation. As I told you, I just download all of the images that come in one of each slide, and it comes with all the information related to the reference, the copyright, and the information of the image. The information of the image is not relevant, so we can delete, but if I am going to put this image, in any case, I need to take the image also with, sorry, with this information. Sorry that I need to drink a little water. Okay, so from here, this is the way that I can use the images. I can take this with the reference and copyright, and if it's going we are going to prepare this class for this university that I have the subscription with ClinicalKey, it's okay. I can show this image with the reference and the copyright, and it's okay. But if I am going to present this outside the institution that subscribes ClinicalKey, I need to ask for permission. And more, if I am going to, for example, to a congress and they ask for my presentation and it will be on internet, it's mandatory to ask for permission. Okay, so this permission, I am going to ask this permission from ClinicalKey. For example, let's see this one that it was interesting way to diagnose diabetes. So I am going here, click on the image. So I am clicking on the image. Then I have this ver una fonte that it's to see on the, in this case, on the journal, on the article that it's related, and we have all this information. And then we are going to the top of the article, and on the red side, we have the way to obtain derechos y conteúdo, that we are going to have rights to ask for permission to use these images and this content outside the university, the hospital that belongs this subscription of ClinicalKey. From here, I am going to put all the information, for example, that I am doing. For example, it will be as a website, for example, that will be in a website. And from here, rights link, it's going to ask me what and why I am using this. And at the end, it's going to tell me if I need to pay something for it or if it's for free. In some cases, we don't have this form. We have another way to go, that it's an email that I need to write about the information that I want to use. Okay, so well, going back to the different type of content that we have in ClinicalKey, we just saw guidelines, we saw clinical overviews. We have also related to diabetes in pregnancy. We have, if we want to go deeper, we have this, it comes to my mind the word in Spanish, ensayos clínicos, that are clinical trials, testes clínicos in Portuguese, and we have more information about this diabetes mellitus in pregnancy, with some information that we can have also, not only on this abstract inside ClinicalKey, also with the link of clinicaltrials.gov, where we have all this information. But well, this is more when we are doing more research or more information, but it's good to know that you have this, of course, inside ClinicalKey. So we are going through this navigation inside ClinicalKey to see not only the different type of content. For example, in here we already saw books, but we have more books about obstetrics. We can go directly, in this case, to visualize some books. If we go to obstetrics and gynecology, I think that it's gynecology, it's obstetrics and gynecology. We have 33 books related to obstetrics and gynecology that can help you to have more information about the different books that we have. In here also we have this Netter collection of medical illustrations that we have, for example, the uterus, and we have all this information that and images that we can also use for our classes, no, with ClinicalKey. Another type of content that we have, we already saw with a journal, with an example of a journal, in this case also related to obstetrics. We have from here 33 journals, different journals that we can also see, not only the Gates obstetrics, we have another ones related also with obstetrics like this, no, and all this information that we already have in here. And this is a book, sorry, periodicals, that I wanted to show you the journals that are in here, obstetrics and gynecology. We have 27, and we have all these journals related to also to obstetrics. Okay, so from here, this is more or less the information that we have for preparing a class with ClinicalKey. I don't know if you have any question related to what we just saw. Well, in the meantime, if you are going to write a question, you can do this. I am going to show you where we have all this information related to the videos of the sessions that we already did, and these practical videos that you can share also with your users, or if you want to share with your colleagues. At the end of all the pages of ClinicalKey, you will find a resource center. From here, you have the possibility to see which country, in your case, is Portugal, and you can go directly to the resource center of Portugal. Well, I am going to maintain it in Portuguese. So from here, we have a different menu with all the resources. In this case, our guidelines, video tutorials, and we have these video pills that are very, very short, related to how to use ClinicalKey. In the case that you don't have a user of ClinicalKey, you have the option here and explain how to register and activate your remote access with your user, with your email of your institution. And of course, we have the program of training in ClinicalKey that we were doing these days, and we are finishing now. We have not only the link to the different sessions we just finished now, we have access to the recordings of these sessions that we have from here. And from here, not only it's all the session, well, I'm going to put play. And from here, of course, we have all the videos that we were doing, but also we have the presentation that I was using for these different trainings that I was doing. So from here, from our resource center, we have different cases of ClinicalKey, to updates of content, and the kits for beginning in ClinicalKey. So this is another way to see and be updated with ClinicalKey. Well, I don't see any question. So let me share another thing in here. We just saw this resource center of Portugal. And of course, I am going to ask you again for your help, that it's related to this survey, that it's an anonymous survey that we are doing. And from here, I am going to copy this link on the chat, and you can help us with your feedback about these sessions of ClinicalKey. So if you don't have any question, let me, well, I am going to put this again. And the only thing that I just want to say is obrigada, gracias. Thank you very much for attending these sessions. I hope this information can help you on your daily basis, doing classes, in this case with ClinicalKey. So have a nice afternoon. Goodbye.